Hello, new Stoics. This is Tim, and this is the second episode of Daily Stoic. And today we are going to get into the Enchiridion again. This will cover Stoics' views on vanity and how we should view things that we are proud of. And this will be 5 and 6. If you want to read along, I will provide the link. And just for everybody new who didn't watch the first episode, this is just daily readings of Stoic philosophy. I may not be always reading from Stoic literature and maybe just get into Stoic ethics or Stoic ideas of morality, but for now we're going to get into the Enchiridion, which is one of the most important pieces of Stoic literature, as well as with the meditations with Marcus Aurelius and a few others, and we'll get into quite a few of them, but for now this is part 5, and here it goes. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of things. Thus, death is nothing terrible, else it would not have appeared so to Socrates. But the terror consists in our notion of death, that it is terrible. When, therefore, we are hindered or disturbed or grieved, let us not impute it to others, but to ourselves, that is, to our own views. It is the action of uninstructed person to reproach others for his own misfortunes, of one entering upon instruction to reproach himself, and one perfectly instructed to reproach neither others nor himself. Be not elated at any excellence not of your own. If a horse should be elated and say, I am handsome, it might be endurable. But when you are elated and say, I have a handsome horse, know that you are elated only on the merit of the horse. What then is your own? The use of the phenomenon of existence, so that when you are in harmony with nature in this respect, you will be elated with some reason, for you will be elated at some good of your own. As in a voyage, when the ship is at anchor, if you go on shore to get water, you may amuse yourself with picking up a shellfish or a truffle in your way, but your thoughts ought to be bent towards the ship, and perpetually attentive, lest the captain should call. And then you should leave out all these things, that you may not have to be carried on board the vessel bound like a sheep. Thus likewise in life, if instead of a truffle or a shellfish, such as a thing as a wife or a child be granted to you, there is no objection. But if the captain calls, run to the ship. Leave all these things and never look behind. But if you're old, never go far from the ship, lest you should go missing when called for. So there's a few concepts that are going in there. There's ideas about how we should view death, or not just death. We should investigate some concepts that are in our lives, or things that we're afraid of, things that we love, and look at it closer to really understand why we're afraid of. And his example was death. Why we're so afraid of death. And this was a big talking point with the Stoics. Was death was not that bad, and if death was the worst thing that could happen to you, then it should always be considered some sort of option if all plans fail. So the thing to keep in mind is we should be prepared for these things. We shouldn't fear death. We shouldn't fear anything that we have some sort of knowledge of. We shouldn't be afraid that the sun is going to rise, and we shouldn't be afraid when the tide comes in. So it's common in Stoic philosophy to have this sense of preparedness, to not be surprised or feign surprise in certain circumstances that you could have prepared for. His next example was of how we should view accomplishments. And we should never view accomplishments of something that we own or something that is associated with us as a point of pride. You shouldn't look at your child's accomplishments as your accomplishments because it's theirs. You shouldn't look at an attribute of something that you own as something attribute to you. Like you have a beautiful house or this. I mean, unless you built the house, then you're taking pride in someone else's work. So it's just never get your head too high. Think about things that you can control and be proud of things that you have done, but don't be proud of things that you have not done. The last example is more of this idea of preparedness. So the main thing with Stoics are be prepared in almost every situation that you can control. And so his example of being a ship hand close to shore means that be prepared to lose everything. Be prepared to do your duty. Be prepared to be virtuous. Because once the captain calls, which could be an allegory for many things, but let's just say it's your duty, a responsibility that you had. Maybe you're in the military, maybe you're in Greenpeace and you get the call to serve. You have to be willing to lose everything in that situation. And this is where we get to some of Stoics' views on morality. Is unlike some forms of morality, it is based on the idea of virtue, and the idea of virtue being the ultimate goal of virtue ethics is just to be good and expect no reward. So the main thing with the Stoic is just do the right thing and never expect anyone to say thank you or anything. Just do it. Don't expect anything, and be prepared. Be prepared to lose everything. It's I guess it's a little intense second episode, but I think we covered quite a bit, and I'm hoping everybody's enjoying the Enchiridion and some new ideas. But anyways, I hope everybody's having a great day, and this is Tim, and have